There's a common misconception that people who do psychedelics experience similar things, same wavelength, similar experiences. And although there is some truth to that, let me turn on the lights here. There is some truth to that in the sense that people will report similar experiences. However, the wide range of experiences can vary greatly depending on your state of being when you decided to ingest these plant medicines. It depends, not only that, that's even a smaller part of it. I would say the bigger part depends on the maturity of where your soul is at in this game of separation back to oneness, the maturity of your particular stream of consciousness, and where you are in the evolution. Okay, so let's talk about some levels here that you can sort of tap into using psychedelics. Okay, and I wrote down 6 on paper, but if I have more, by all means, I'll just fire them in the video if they come to me. So there's the level. This is very common because I think a lot of the souls on the earth who use psychedelics are at that similar level of maturity in their evolution. You take psychedelics and then you want to make love. When I say you want to make love, you want to make love to the earth, the plants, the trees. People who do psychedelics, they report speaking to trees and speaking to the spirit of the earth and really wanting to care for the earth and make love to the earth. It could be in the form of making love to your friends. You might pick up a phone, call a friend. All these things that I'm telling you, they all happen to me at some point or other, in some trip or other. You call a friend, I love you. You call your sister, I love you. You call your brother, oh my God, I love you. So you're essentially wanting to make love. You're wanting to make love to the world around you, to other entities that seem separate from you, but at some level, when you tap into these states, you know that is you. But that's one level, because certainly, at least for me, the first few times I took psychedelics, I didn't come to that place of oneness at all. I didn't know that actually I'm just looking at myself. It was that experience. That was where I was in that particular place. So, it was like, I love everyone. I still saw everyone as separate though. But I'm like, I love everyone. I love the trees. I love my friends. I love my family. I love everyone. But even though the deeper part of you knows this is just you and experiencing life from a different angle, but those first few times I didn't perceive it like that. I didn't perceive the oneness. I didn't come to that realization where I'm looking at myself. Okay, so the first few times, I guess that was the particular level I was at that particular point, and very positive. I mean, I went from being very egotistical, focused on perfecting the perfect body muscularly, and I wanted to make a lot of money at the time, and there was a lot of I was running off the programs, the societal programs, and it took me from this place where I had never realized and even noticed a tree in my life to the point where I could never ignore that there's trees around, and I would hug them and kiss them and spend more time in nature. So it's fantastic, fantastic. You can think of that as one level. Then another level would be a total realization that there's only one of you. Okay, and that's when things get a little weird, a little trippy, and you start running into the cosmic giggle. Okay, and I started to find myself in that place later on. Okay, later on, after maybe 4 or 5 trips, I would sort of look at another person, whoever it is, and I just look at them and I'd start laughing because I know I'm looking at myself here. Okay, so you go from I love everyone, you know, to which is still a loving, you still love, you love you in another form. Okay, and that's when you start to lose the capacity to speak a little bit. Okay, because you're like, you just look, huh, that's me, isn't it? Oh shit, I guess I have short hair in that particular form, and I'm a female, you know, or I'm old. I guess I'm old in that form. So you start to see you're like, I'm just looking at myself. It's like this is a mirror, right? Perfect synchronicity. It's like I'm just looking at myself, and everything, wherever you look, you know, that's one level that psychedelics could take you to, is wherever you look, I'm looking at myself. It's like you can't escape yourself. I'm looking at myself. You look at a tree, I'm looking at myself. You look at a person, I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at myself. Okay, and that's when you start to lose language a little bit. Your linguistic abilities even begin to lessen, because you're totally getting out of your conscious mind, which is just the program of this reality, the 3D reality, and you're going into your higher mind here. And at the higher mind, you know, like you just know, and you got quite a bit of sense of humor in that. Your higher mind, I mean, you're a hilarious being, the you, okay, the cosmic love, very hilarious, very, very funny. Okay, and so you could begin to experience the cosmic giggle. Okay, and it's very fun level, very, very fun level. It's, you know, one of my favorite, the cosmic giggle. When the cosmic giggle hits me, and I just like, I'm not really thinking, is there not much thoughts here, in the sense that I'm not looking and judging the world, or you know, because we'll get to a certain level where psychedelics can take you. I'm just like, I'm looking at myself, right? So that's another level. Then there is the level where you realize how fucked up the world is. Okay, that's the level where you look around everywhere and you're like, why the fuck are we doing this? You know, like, oh yeah, my first trip, my first ever trip was in the woods with some friends. And I looked at them, maybe like a couple of hours into the trip, and I looked at one of my friends, and I'm like, why the fuck do we live in cities? Why do we live away from trees? And I look and I'm like, this is home. So that's one level I could take you to. I call this an outer awakening. An outer awakening is you wake up to the matrix outside of you. This is their external reality, the 3D reality that you're programmed to be in, this 3D matrix. Okay, you wake up to it and you realize, what are we doing? You know, one of my friends, he said one of his earlier trips, he was in a pool, and he got naked, he threw away his clothes, and he's like, why the fuck do we wear clothes? And I had the same sort of realization in one of my trips. So that's the one level. So there's the outer awakening. You wake up to the matrix at such levels that are incomprehensible to society. I mean, from the point of view of an average Joe, it's like, duh, of course you wear clothes. You know, duh, of course we live in cities. We need this, we need that, we need cars, we need jobs. You know, it's like from their point of view. But you get to this point of view where it's outer awakening. You're like, this is insane. What are you guys doing? This is insanity. Right? So that's the one level, the outer awakening. Then there is the looking at yourself, and that's very funny, very hilarious. This is when the cosmic giggle hits you. You got none of that. I mean, these are usually more pleasant trips. Okay, but they're all necessary. They're all necessary. Okay, all of them, every single one of them is necessary. But of course, naturally, the more pleasant ones would be where you're not really thinking about, society and what's going on in the cosmic theater and the drama of yin and yang. You're just like, I'm looking at myself. That's pretty funny. and I tried to go to the gym one time, and I was just laughing the whole time. Because I'd have to scan your card, I'd look at the person who's scanning, give him a big smile. Just a big, and they smile back, of course, right? Just a big smile, because I'm like, I'm looking at myself, this is me, right? So the outer awakening, this is a tougher one. This is where your compassionate heart wakes up to the outer game, the outer awakening. Very necessary though, very necessary. Then there is the place of I love everyone, and you just go out spreading love, right? Still in separate consciousness, okay? And then there's the level where you reach the truth of the Tao Te Ching, the first line of the Tao Te Ching. The Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. And in many ways, you can't speak anymore. You actually lose your ability to speak. You can't form words anymore. And usually you need bigger, unless you're really heavy meditator and then you do it, usually you need bigger doses for this if you're not experienced in meditation. Okay, because these states that the Tao Te Ching describes and Zen Buddhists describe, it's a state of it's non-linguistic, because we label reality with language, and the aim of Zen Buddhism specifically is to get you to stop labeling, just to be with reality as is. Okay, so you give this a Zen monk, they're already in that state. The psychedelic probably won't even do much to them, if anything at all. Okay, it'll just enhance the experience of the Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. But in many ways, like if you go, you really, and it depends where you are in the level of your evolution of consciousness. You see, you may never get to that state. You might, every time you trip, you might go into the place of I gotta fix the world. That might be like, seriously, you might do like 10 trips in a row and you might be in that place because that's exactly what needs to happen to you. It's no better or worse. Keep in mind here, we're not talking, oh, this is a better state, this is a worse state. It's simply as from an observational point of view, it's just where you are in the evolution of your soul, your consciousness, where you are in the cosmic theater. What is your mission here? Are you here to help the world, or are you here just to sit there and be? Okay, it really depends. So no better or worse, just simply keep in mind where you are in evolution of consciousness, and you may only experience one or two of these levels. You may experience all of them throughout your life. You may experience something entirely different. Okay, so to keep going, the level of where language ceases to be, you can't even speak. I remember, you can't even speak. It's just that you can't even formulate words anymore. Okay, I'm sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You can't formulate, you can't speak, you can't formulate words. You're way beyond this 3D reality, you're way beyond this human mind, because language is sort of the way we're programmed, and it's like the lowest form of communication, really. It is the lowest form of communication. You go way beyond that. It's like orgasm. What are you gonna say? You say something in orgasm? The minute you say something, all you could do is right, and make a sound. That's all you could do in a moment of orgasm. That's the most you could utter. And in many ways, in these states, the most you could do is utter something like a hum or wow. Really, that's the most you could do. Just like think of an orgasm times 100. Okay? So there is that level. The Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. And you basically go beyond language for a good 2-3 hours. Very, very amazing place to be in. Very high place. We're going way beyond here. There is the level where you reach what is referred to in Ashtanga Yoga and Patanjali's Yoga as Samadhi. And that's a state of obviously no language, but also total bliss. Really, like it's just total bliss and silence at the same time. Okay, total bliss and total silence. Okay, very similar to the Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao, but with a more blissful, yet very silent, very calm, very peaceful taste, flavor to it. Okay, and those are more, they're high. I would say they're more difficult levels to reach, because you really would need to really be a very skilled meditator. You would need to have already been in this game for a while to be able to reach these levels. And so really, like that, again, that's why I recommend, in previous videos I recommend, hey look, before you do any psychedelics, spend a year or two meditating. If I go back in time, I would have done that. In all honesty, I would have done that. Spend a year or two meditating. Before you do psychedelics, if you're gonna take something out of this video, you've never tried psychedelics, don't do psychedelics. Go spend a year meditating. Just spend a year, okay, or 6 months, really solid meditation every day. Okay, learn how to meditate, spend some time meditating, develop a solid meditative practice, and you could get to those levels. You could get to those levels, and you know, they're, again, I don't want to use the word, but I have to anyway. They're higher levels of evolution for sure. Okay, because you're going beyond the cosmic drama of, because when you wake up and you say, holy shit, this is fucked up. You know, that you're in the cosmic drama. You're doing your part. It's great. And you guys see me in this channel. I talk about fixing the world, which is, you know, still I'm like in the illusion here playing. I'm basically honoring my role, right? Let's fix the world. Let's do this. Let's spread the light. That's all an illusion. And if you get too stuck in there, then yeah, you're still sleeping. You might think you woke up, but that's why I called it outer awakening. See, these other places that I'm talking about, the Samadhi and the silence and calmness and bliss and peace and really total emptiness in your mind, that's inner awakening. That's inner awakening. That's you're being now who you are. Okay, you're going beyond the good and evil, the yin and yang, the cosmic drama, the whole bit, even the compassion. You're even going beyond the compassion. Okay, because you realize everything's perfect and there's nothing to be fixed, and I am and everyone and I am playing all these roles and everything is perfect and everything is predetermined, all these very, very higher truths, because you realize that it's all perfect, it's all bliss, it's all peaceful, it's all for a big divine plan that you created, and you're just like, you don't even think about it. You know, it's like, oh yeah, everything's perfect. You know? So it's like, you know this, you're not thinking about it. You're not thinking about it, you know it. You've gone beyond language. You know this. So then because you know this, you don't think about it. You don't think about, I gotta fix the world, I gotta do this. Okay? So these levels, like I said, do lots of meditation before. And you'll get to experience them more. Also, it really depends where you are right now. Like, you know, my last trip, for example, it was one of those Samadhi type trips. Okay? Now, I'll tell you something. If I trip now, it might be the next level, or it's not next, it's just another level. Talking to aliens. Now, aliens could be angels, spirit guides, extraterrestrials, Pleiadians, Arcturians, channeling, you know, and so you could be channeling entities, you could be channeling whatever. You're always channeling anyway. I'm channeling right now, okay? So I feel like for my next trip, it'll probably be something like that. Because I'm sort of, now I need to be in that particular role. So, you know, that's why there's don't think of it higher or lower. I don't want to say higher or lower, okay? Just think of it as levels. Levels, they're just levels. No labels for levels. You could experience them according to wherever you are. Now, there's another level also, where none of that's going to happen, and it's going to take you back to your childhood. And that's why people will use this stuff for healing, because you need to deal with some things that are immediate right now in this lifetime before you even move on to other things. You got to put on your own oxygen mask first, in other words. Okay, you've got to go back to your childhood, fix, rewrite some softwares, release some trauma, cry, laugh, release anger. These are all things that happened to me. Every single experience that I'm saying here, it all happened, okay? So you might need to put on your oxygen mask first before you could even go and play and do something in the cosmic drama, let alone go and experience something like, total dissolution of language and total bliss and ecstasy and, whatever it is, or I love you, you love me. The trip may give you, okay, you know, you gotta put on your oxygen mask first before you help somebody else put on their mask. So all these different levels, then there's a level of hell. Now, most people who find psychedelics aren't gonna go to hell. Some do, but most don't. But, you know, even Terence McKenna has this saying that he asked the mushroom, he said, you know, how do I trust this? You know, how do I trust that this is divine? And the mushroom told them that only good people find their way to the mushroom. Okay, and because your energy is already you're already biased towards the light. There's a good chance, most likely, you ain't going to hell. But it could happen. It could happen. Okay, now this is where, because I'll tell you where it could happen. It could happen if you're irresponsible about the way you prepare yourself, about the way you prepare the set and the setting in your physical body, and you're eating the wrong foods, and you haven't had sleep. Things are all talk about. Go playlist psychedelics, okay? Be responsible. If you're not responsible, because this world is run by negative entities, although things are shifting now, like if you go out, very irresponsibly, and you go to the middle of a mall or something, you're gonna go to hell. Those places are full of these lower dimensional entities. Downtown, cities, all of it is full of lower dimensional entities. You become an open conduit, an open channel. Anything can come in. If you're not well prepared and you're centered, you might get hijacked. You might get possessed by one of these lower entities, and then you're gonna go to hell. You're gonna go to hell. Okay, so make sure you're prepared well, because this is another level altogether, going to hell, right? Going to these lower dimensional vibrations. So yeah, don't exactly stereotype that psychedelics will give you a certain experience. It will only give you the experience you need to have right now, whatever level you need to experience. Just because you experienced Samadhi in these very blissful states doesn't mean you're going to experience them every time, because you're part of the game requires you to have an experience where you want to fix the world, the external awakening, the external world, okay, as opposed to the inner awakening. Because you might have the inner awakening, and because you have the inner awakening, you realize you're always living in paradox, right? Zeros and ones, you're always living in paradox. You're always living in oneness and separation, and you go in and out, expand, contract, just like the breath. Then you realize, oh, okay, I am one, everything's perfect, but I'm in the paradox at the same time, so I want to show compassion. So maybe your next trip will be about outer awakening. Let's fix the world. Okay, all very, very interesting. It's all takes you where you are in every moment, because everything is perfect, and every experience you have is perfect. So yeah, you never know what the trip is gonna give you. That's why they always tell you surrender, because you are being led by something, that is you, really. I mean, you could say angels, you could say, extraterrestrials, Pleiadians, whatever. These are you in different manifestations that are helping you. And you're always being helped. You got guides, you got everything, right? You're always being helped by you in these other forms, okay? And so there's always guidance, there's always help. Just make sure you do your preparation, and you do some fasting before, you clean up your body, you eat, wholly pure foods, and surrender, don't loosen your expectations, and be open to experience whatever level the experience will give you, okay? Be open to it. That's why, I stopped watching trip reports a long time ago. I stopped watching trip reports. Okay? And even in the earlier stages of experimentation, I would go and watch maybe 3 or 4 trips, and then I'd be like, no, I'm gonna stop here. And I just stop for 3 weeks before the trip. I'm like, I wanna just have I don't wanna have expectations of what the trip's gonna be like, and I don't wanna be disappointed, and I don't wanna go in with expectations. And I don't remember the last time I watched someone else's trip report. Because you're better off just surrendering to whatever experience you particularly need to experience in that moment. Okay, so my humble advice to you is don't watch any trip reports. Okay, that's my humble advice. If you want to really trust yourself enough, and you want to just do your preparation, watch as many videos about physical preparation, mental preparation, setting. Watch as many videos. Watch as many videos on that. Really educate yourself in that manner, and then go out and experience it for yourself. Okay. So thank you to all the Patreons for being such awesome, amazing people and supporting the work of this channel. If you believe in the work of this channel, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to get off your lazy ass right now, pick up your credit card, it's probably in one of your pockets or your wallet or something, put in $2 a month, and then you're good to go. That's $24 a year. You believe enough in this channel, you'd like to support that way, you've got some funds, or you're already wasting some money, not a bad idea to waste another couple of bucks. It's not a bad idea, right? So yeah, if you want to do that. If not, I do, I accept one-time donations on PayPal as well. So the links for both are in the description, in the comments. Love you guys, okay? And until next time, may the force be with you.